What's good, everybody on YouTube? It's your boy Yo, and I'm back with another video for all of my YouTube viewers. So in today's video, I want to actually share my opinion with all of my YouTube viewers as to who I believe is going to win every division in the National League during the 2016 season. And I'm sure many of you will probably disagree. That's why I would like for you to comment below whether you agree or whether you disagree as to what I'm going to say later on in this video. Now, I want you guys to know this. I will not be sharing my opinion for the National League wildcard. Once again, I will not be sharing my opinion for this year's National League wildcard. I will only be talking about the National League East, the National League Central, and the National League West. So, let's get into it. Number one on my list is the National League East. And for those who do know, and for those who have been watching baseball, the Mets won the National League East during the 2015 season. And they had quite, a season. They had an amazing season. They surprised probably every person that watches baseball. I don't think anybody had the Mets going to the World Series towards the end of the season. But yeah, they ended up going to the World Series. Unfortunately, they lost to the Kansas City Royals, but making it to the World Series is not easy, and the Mets ended up doing it. However, I do not have the New York Mets winning the National League East during the 2016 season. I actually have the Washington Nationals winning the NL East during the 2016 season. But here's why. And I understand the Mets have the best, they literally have the best pitching rotation in all of Major League Baseball. So regardless of, what I think, the Mets still have the best pitching rotation in all of baseball. I'm not going to take that away from them. But I think the Nationals actually have a pretty good starting rotation as well. Let's not forget that they have Max Scherzer. They also have Steven Strasburg. They also have Gio Gonzalez. And they also have a couple of other guys that could, pretty much be a pretty good starting pitcher on any other team. Aside from their starting rotation, let's not forget they probably have who is the best hitter in baseball right now. And he was actually the 2015 National League MVP in Bryce Harper. But the Nationals have been struggling the last couple of seasons because of injuries. The Nationals, they have been dealing with the injury bug. Last season, they had to deal with injuries due to Jason Worth. They also had to deal with an injured Anthony Rendon. This is why I have the Nationals winning the National League East this season. Their lineup is better than the Mets on paper. Now, if, they start dealing with these health issues and they can't stay on the field, then of course, you just got to give it to the Mets, because I don't see, the Braves, the Phillies, or the Marlins doing anything in that division. It's going to come down to the Nationals and the Mets, but as I said, I have the Mets winning that division. And like I said, no disrespect to the Mets, they do still have the best pitching rotation in all of baseball. But I think the Nationals finally come together, they stay healthy, and they end up claiming the National League East division. On to the National League Central. And the National League Central was probably the most toughest division during 2015. But my pick for who's going to win the National League Central during this upcoming 2016 season, I have the Chicago Cubs. And here's why. Look at what the Chicago Cubs did last season, and they didn't have a guy like Jason Hayward. They didn't have a guy like Ben Zobrist, and they also didn't have John Lackey. Remember what Jake Arrieta and John Lester did during the 2015 season. The Cubs signed John Lackey. The Cubs also signed Ben Zobrist, and the Cubs also signed Jason Hayward. Just those new additions alone make the Cubs a better overall team. Now, the only thing the Cubs have to do is come together and prove that they will be this year's winner for the National League Central. However, it wouldn't surprise me if the Pittsburgh Pirates come along and end up snagging the National League Central title away from the Chicago Cubs, because I'm sorry to say this, but I really don't see the St. Louis Cardinals winning the National League Central. But would it surprise me if they end up making it to the playoffs by clinching, a wild card berth? No, because the St. Louis Cardinals are always winning. But I don't really see them doing what they did last season. Let's not forget that the St. Louis Cardinals did win 100 games, but they did lose Jason Hayward. They also lost John Lackey, and I think there's somewhat of a health situation going on with the St. Louis Cardinals, because I think they're going to need a lot from Matt Holliday. They're going to need a lot from Adam Wainwright, and they're going to need a lot from Matt Adams and also Yadier Molina. Is that too much to ask for? I think so, but as I said, it wouldn't surprise me if the St. Louis Cardinals somehow got in, with the wild card or however. But as I said, I think the Chicago Cubs end up winning the National League Central because of their newest additions. Not only their newest additions, let's not forget they still have a guy like Anthony Rizzo in that lineup. They also have Chris Bryant, who's probably only going to get better than how he played last season. They still have Jake Arrieta. They still have John Lester. They still have Kyle Schwarber. They still have all of these young guys. So that's my pick for the National League Central in 2016. And now for the last division in the National League, the National League West. Now, last season, the winner of the National League West was the Los Angeles Dodgers, but I think the Dodgers will not be winning this year's National League West. My pick to win this year's National League West is the San Francisco Giants. And no, it's not because it's an even year or, the Giants always play better when it's an even year. No, forget about all of that stuff. I think with the, additions of Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija and a Denard Span, I think those acquisitions really make the San Francisco Giants a better team overall. Let's not forget that they still have Buster Posey. They still have Brandon Crawford. They still have Madison Bumgarner, who's arguably one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. So that's why I have the San Francisco Giants winning the National League West. And yeah, the Diamondbacks did add Zach Greinke. They also added Shelby Miller. But I don't know, man. I think the San Francisco Giants are a better team overall. And I have them winning the National League West during the 2016 season. But who do you think will win the National League East, the National League Central, and the National League West during the 2016 season? Make sure to comment below and let me know who you would like to win those divisions. And that's it for this video, guys. And as I always say, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for many more of my YouTube videos. It's your boy Ario, and let's see what happened during the 2016 season.